सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। We are in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, completed up to 24th sloka in chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogam. We will just go through the 24th sloka once again because it is a very important sloka and culmination of Jnana portion in this particular chapter. From 18th to 24th, Paramatma gave the glimpse of Jnanam, and 24th is a conclusion. So we will see the concluding sloka. This is taking a big leap. The sloka is like this: Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. The Anvayam is Arpanam Brahma Havihi Brahma Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahma Karma Samadhina Tena Brahma Eva Gantavyam. The ladle is Brahma. The offering, the oblation is Brahma. It is offered into the fire of Brahma by Brahma. Brahma alone is to be reached by him who sees Brahma in every action. This is the concluding sloka of Jnana portion, as I told. This gives you the higher level of teaching. The first level of teaching is it is to recognize the fact that the consciousness principle is separate from the body, mind, sense complex. Consciousness principle means Atma. Atma is different from body, mind, sense complex, Dehendriya Mano Buddhis. The body is not Atma, the mind is not Atma, the sense organs are not Atma. They are all Jadavastus. Jadavastus means insentient things. Yet they behave sentient because of Atma. Atma blesses body, mind and sense organs. Therefore, they become sentient. So the first level of teaching is the body, mind, sense complex is separate from Atma. The consciousness principle is different from BMS. This is the first teaching. And this teaching we can arrive by Atmanatma Vivekam. Atmanatma Vivekam. The next level of teaching is I the consciousness. The consciousness principle or Atma, which is separate from body, mind, sense complex, is my real self. That is my reality. The body, mind, sense complex is Agantukam. It is only a temporary Vesham. Or temporary attire which I wore. to transact in this world. My real nature is Atma. So the next level of teaching is I, the consciousness principle, is the same behind all bodies. So this consciousness principle or Atma is not only in my body, but it is there in all bodies. Just like there is one thread behind all beads of a mala. Mala contains so many beads. All beads are together by means of a thread. The thread is common, thread is ekam, though beads are different. So, Atma ekam. The second lesson of Vedanta is Atma ekam. The first lesson, Atma and Anatma. In this world, there are two things. One is called Atma, the other one is called Anatma. Atma is the consciousness principle. Anatma is insentient or jada vastus. So Atma and Anatma, two things are there. My real self is Atma. I am not the jada vastu. The second lesson is this Atma is only one. It is not different in different bodies. Same Atma, that is myself as consciousness principle, is available in all bodies. This is called Atma ekam. And the third and final lesson, the most important teaching, is that I, which is the consciousness behind all bodies and minds, is alone the ultimate truth. That is the only truth. The rest is all midya. So, Anatma is midya, Atma is satyam. So the consciousness principle, which is pervading in all bodies, is the only truth. The body-mind-sense complex, the external world do not exist independent of consciousness. This is like the ornaments. If you take one ornament, the ornament is not different from gold. Gold alone is the reality. There is no ornament without gold. So this is the thing, and the same gold is pervading in all ornaments. It is pervading in ear studs, it is pervading in necklace, it is pervading in bracelet. Like that, all golden ornaments are nothing but the gold itself. Gold is the reality. Ornaments are just name and shape. So, Sarvatra Swarna Darsanam. This is called Sarvatra Swarna Darsanam. Similarly, if you look at the ocean, wave, surf, and the bubble, in all of these, the water is the reality. The ocean, the surf, the wave, the bubble, they are just names and forms. The reality is water. So, Sarvatra Jaladarsanam. When you look at this as the Atma, the entire world, my body, mind, sense complex, and the world around me is all Atma, essentially. when I look at this, there will be an attitudinal change. What is that attitudinal change? Earlier I was finding lot of differences, like Varna Bheda, then Linga Bheda, then Ashrama Bheda. Like that there are the differences between rich and poor. So many differences I used to maintain. When I start looking at the entire world, including my body, as the very consciousness, then I don't see any difference. There is no difference between two individuals. So Sarvatra Atma Darsanam. Whoever sees this Atma everywhere, Tatra ko mohaha kasokaha ekatra manupasyati. One who sees that one and only one Atma pervading all through this world, for him there is no difference at all. He sees Atma everywhere. He doesn't have any dvesham. He will have the compassionate attitude towards everything. So this is the teaching. In this teaching, the sloka says Brahmarpanam. This is a scenario of yajnam. At the time of yajnam, we use different types of spoons, wooden spoons, called sruk and sruvam. So both are wooden spoons, ladles we can call. So these ladles which you use to pour ghee into fire is also Brahma. It is not different from Brahma. Because we are saying that entire Sarvatra Swarna Darsanam, like that Sarvatra Atma Darsanam, Sarvatra Brahma Darsanam, Atma eva Brahma. So Sarvatra Brahma Darsanam. Brahmarpanam. Arpanam means not giving or sacrificing, not like that. Offering, it is not that meaning. Arpanam here is ladle. So, Brahma Havihi. Brahma Havihi means we offer various oblations into the fire of that Yajna Kunda. So that offering is also Brahma. That offering is also Brahma. Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam. Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam means the Agni itself is Brahma. Hutam, whatever is offered is also Brahma. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. The offering is Brahma. Brahma alone is doing this yajnam, and the receiver is also Brahma. Whatever is the offering you offer, the receiver is also Brahma. So that way the entire Yajnakanda is Brahmam. Brahmam and nothing but Brahma. Why this kind of explanation given like this? If you look at this, the entire Yajnakanda is Brahma. Why this is given here? Because the Sishya is a Vaidika Sishya. Day in and day out he spends his time in Yajnakanda. So if he is given an example through the ritual which he is performing, he can easily absorb and he can have reverence in his ritual. So this way the Bhagavad Gita says that initially you have to understand Atma and Anatma. There are two things. Atma Anatma Vivekam it is called. This entire world can be, entire Jagat can be divided into two things, Atma and Anatma. Jada and Chetana. Druk and Drusyam. Observer and observed. Observer is the Chetana Vastu or Atma or Brahma. Drugeva natudrusyate. Whatever I see is not the seen. The seer is different from seen. So whatever I see means I see this entire world. So the world is different from me. Then I come to my body. I also observe my body. See means observe also. Or experience. So I experience my body. So I am not the body. I experience my mind. I know the moods of my mind. I am happy now. I am sorrowful now. I am, restless now. Like that, the shades of the mind is ever known to me. So I can experience the shades of the mind. So I am not the mind. I can also feel the sense organs. My eyes, my ears, how they function and all that. So the body is not me. The mind is not me. The sense organs are not me. Then, who am I? Am I the emptiness, sunyam? No. I am the witnessing consciousness, the awareness principle. I am the awareness principle or witnessing consciousness. The Atma. In Jagrata Avastha, all these body, mind, sense complex are fully functional. When I go to dream, the body, mind, sense complex, only mind functions. The body and sense organs, they go to slumber. They go to sleep. They are totally in a restful position. So the body, mind, sense complex, only mind is functional in the case of a dream. If I go to the deep sleep where there is no dream at all, then even the mind is not functional. But still, I am there. I get up and say, I had a wonderful sleep. So this way, the leftover reminder, that is the Atma, is the real self, or that is my real nature. The body is just agantukam. It is only a temporary tenement for me to transact as long as I live in this mundane world. So, the body, mind, sense complex is different from Atma. This is the first lesson. The second lesson is this awareing consciousness, the Atma, is also pervading. The same Atma is pervading in all body, mind, sense complexes, in all bodies, all minds. That means the Eka Atma is pervading all the bodies, all jivas. And the third one is, that is the only reality. The rest is just an appearance. Just as the dream is an appearance from you, The same way, the entire Jagat is a Mithya Jagat. Therefore, my reality is Atma. And that is the only reality in this world. Rest is all the projection of this reality. So that is what this particular sloka pronouns, and it doesn't mean that you have to be in the utopian world. People immediately jump to conclusion that means we need not care this world. That is not the message given to you by this teaching. This idea of paradigm shift is to give you a shock absorber, to provide you a shock absorber, a shield for you to protect you from the difficulties of this world. In this world, everything is fine, but you always get sukham with dukkham. It is always a dvandvam. You have to face the pair of opposites in this world. Jayam and apajayam. Labham and nashtam. Sukham and dukkham. This is the very package of this mundane world. Therefore, to have a shock absorber to shield yourself, this paradigm shift will help you. And to live in a compassionate way, the paradigm shift helps you because you are there in all individuals. So there is no dvesham, irrespective of varnam, irrespective of sex, irrespective of ashrama, irrespective of money, possessions. You are compassionate with the entire world. So this is the advantage. So bhavat advaitam sada kuryat. Behind the mind, you should have advaitam. Kriyat advaitam karhi chit na kuryat. In transactions, there is no advaitam. In transactions, there is no advaitam. So you can do your puja. There is dvaitam in puja, daily puja, yet you perform because you cannot escape. You are in dvaitam only. But at the back of your mind, you should understand this is all like a dream, the cosmic dream. Bhavat advaitam sada kuryat. Always have that advaitam and then have this ananda. In Mundaka Upanishad, we have a similar mantra like Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, like that. That is Brahmaivedam Amrutam Purastat Brahma Paschat Brahma Dakshinataha Uttarena Adaschordam cha Prasrutam Brahmaiveda Idam Varishtam. So this Brahma is there right in front of me. In the right side Brahma is there, left side Brahma is there. At my back side the Brahma is there, up Brahma is there, down Brahma is there. That means all Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam means when I see the right side Brahma is there, it is not that I have to see Brahma like that. No. It is to have divinity in this entire world. You should have reverence in everything. Whatever you do it with reverence. Whomever you meet, you treat him as God in your mind, back of your mind. Not openly, you need not say openly. In your mind, you can always have that respect. So, that is the feeling. Bhavat Advaitam Sada Kuryat. When you have to have this 24/7 at the back of your mind. This 24/7, to understand this, Swamiji gives a beautiful example. It's worth remembering. Suppose you are going to Delhi by the Telangana Express. So if you want to go to Delhi, the train halts at all important stations. You get down, have some coffee, snacks, and you purchase a water bottle. Behind all these transactions, you do not forget that your final destination is Delhi and you have to get into the train and take your seat. So while doing your transactions, at the back of your mind, you are clear that you have to catch the train. You are very alert in your transaction. If you purchase something, you know how much of money you have to give, how much of balance you have to get back. All these things, they keep going. They have not vanished. You are very much in the Vyaharam, doing all actions. Yet, at the back of your mind, you recognize that you are Atma. This recognition will help you in facing this world happily, without any difficulty. Now, with this, Paramatma completed the teaching. He is giving various sadhanas, and nearly some 12 to 13 sadhanas Paramatma is going to prescribe through various slokas. All these sadhanas Paramatma calls with the name Yajna. Each sadhana is called an Yajna. So we will see one after the other. Sloka number 25. Daivameva pare yajnam yoginah paryupasate brahmagna avapare yajnam yajne naivopajuhvati. Apare, this word apare is repeated so many times in this particular sloka. Apare means other, some other. We'll see the Anvayam first. Apare yoginaha daivam yeva yajnam paryupasate. Apare brahmagnau yajnena yajnam yeva upajuhvati. Some yogis offer the very self by the self into the fire of Brahma. Others perform Daiva Yajna alone. Now from 25th sloka onwards up to 34th, we come across various sadhanas, so-called yajnas. In this particular sloka, Paramatma is giving two yajnas by name Brahma Yajna and Daiva Yajna. We have this Brahma Yajna, that is knowing your own self, is called Brahma Yajna. It is also called Jnana Yajna or Rishi Yajna. So we are all doing this Brahma Yajna or Jnana Yajna, Rishi Yajna. By listening, you are doing Brahma Yajna. By teaching, I am doing Brahma Yajna. And some sponsor the books, they are doing Brahma Yajna. So all this is Brahma Yajna. Brahma Yajna means to understand the real self. To understand this real self, whatever the action you do, that is the Brahma Yajna. Swami Chinmayananda first time gave this name Brahma Yajna. He coined this word Brahma Yajna for Gita discourses. People who attend his class first time, they were looking around for Havan Kund. Because the word Yajna is there, they were thinking that there is some kind of, the fire ritual that is going to take place. Brahma Yajna means the transmission of knowledge, the real knowledge, Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya. So, in Brahma Yajna, what you actually do is, there is a Brahmagni. In that Brahmagni, you have to offer something. Yajna means you have to offer in the fire. So, what is that fire here? Fire is Brahma Agni, the Agni called Brahma. So, in that Brahmagni, you have to offer your ego. You have to resolve your ego into the Agni called Brahmagni. By resolving your ego, you can transform yourself unto Brahman. That is, when the ego is mastered, naturally it is easy for you to be in union with Atma. So this yajnam is the very important and the most important yajna called Brahmagni. Brahmagni or Brahma Yajnam, Jnana Yajnam or Rishi Yajnam. Then Daiva Yajnam. Daiva Yajna means our daily puja, day-to-day puja. This is the greatness of our culture, that whatever you see is revered as God. For us, we need not look for God in a particular place, because we have that facility of invoking God in every thing around us. So you have a small saligramam and then invoke Vishnu. And you have a lump of haldi and then invoke Mahaganapatim. Haridra Kunkuma Bimbe Mahaganapatim Avahayami. Saligramayam Vishnu Buddhim. So this is, people wonder how you can invoke when Vishnu is all pervading, how you can invoke in a small piece of stone. Our Puja Swamiji gives a beautiful example. If somebody catches my little finger, my whole attention is drawn. The complete me is drawn unto him. Just the touch of my little finger. In the same way, when you invoke God into that stone, the entire Bhagavan is invoked, all pervading Bhagavan invoked into that for upasana purpose, for the facility of upasana. So, when you take bath, you invoke all the rivers unto that bucket of water and make that water a very pure and pious water, and then take bath. So like that, this is our system. So we have that whatever you take, when you take something, you immediately don't simply gulp it. You offer it to the Agni inside. Then the stomach becomes the Garbhagruha, the Garbhalayam. In Chandogya Upanishad, this is called Pranagnihotra. So whatever you offer unto the stomach is an ajna. We do it with reverence. So this is how we have different kinds of Daiva Yajna. We have got Navabhaktis. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnoho Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Like that, there are 9 types of bhaktis. In that, Atma Nivedanam is the highest form of bhakti. That is offering yourself unto God. So offering yourself means what? Offering your ego unto that Paramatman or Atma. So surrendering your ego unto the Paramatma, Atma Nivedanam. So the same thing Paramatma talks in his concluding slokas, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Raja. So you can resolve all your dharmas unto me and then take resort unto me who is Ekam. Ekam means Atma. There is only one Ekam in this universe, that is Atma. Mam Ekam Saranam Raja. So you resolve unto me, which is Ekam. This way we have got 2 yajnas. One yajnam is called Daiva Yajnam, which is our Parayanam or Nitya Puja or any kind of ritual. So all this becomes Daiva Yajnam. And Brahma Yajnam is the Yajnam which is an action by which you know your real self. Like coming to the class, Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam is Brahma Yajnam. Then teaching is Brahma Yajnam. Like that, all the activities pertaining to the self-knowledge is Brahma Yajnam. Protecting our the scriptures, subscribing to the Veda Patasalas, helping the Vedic students, all this is Brahma Yajna. So, we will proceed to the next sloka, sloka number 26. Srotradi inindriyanyanye sanyama agnishu juhvati Sabdadin Vishayananya Indriya Agnishu Juhvati. Anye Srotra Adini इंद्रियाणि संयम अग्निषु जुह्वति. अन्ये शब्दादीन् विषयान् इंद्रिय अग्निषु जुह्वति. Here the meaning is like this. Some offer the sense organs like ears, eyes, nose into the fire of sense control. Others offer the sense objects like sound, scenes, smells into the fire of sense organs. In this, there are two more yajnas that are enumerated by Paramatma. The first line, the yajna talked about the sensory discipline, Damo Yajnam, or Indriya Samyama Yajnam, mastery of sense organs. So, you have to offer all your sense organs unto a fire called Indriya Samyama Agni. Samyama Agni means the fire of sense control. It is only an imaginary thing, it's not a fire. So you have to, the ultimate thing is you have to have sensory regulation. The control means you should not control forcefully. If you control forcefully, they will, violate when appropriate. They will look for an appropriate time and revolt. That is what happened to Ravana. Mandodari says you have controlled and you have suppressed all your indriyas. That is why you are losing your balance and all your sensory organs are revolting against you. This is the third yajnam. The yajnam mentioned here is sensory control. This is one yajnam. Indriya Samyama Yajnam or Damo Yajnam. So we have to have control on the indriyas. So regularly you watch a particular serial which elongates like a chewing gum. Years after years they keep continuing because the viewership is increased. They don't want to finish the serial. So this poor fellow is stuck 1 hour or whatever is the time, that is totally gone to dustbin. So Indriya Samyamana. Indriya Samyamana means mastery over indriyas. You should not have excessive indulgency in anything. So you should check where you are going out of bounds and try to have regulation. The regulation is very important. It is not a suppression. So it is like this, if you try to hold water of a river, it is very dangerous. What happens? It will go into the fields and spoil all the crops. On the contrary, if you build a beautiful dam and then regulate the flow, it will be useful. The flow can be taken or diverted into a place where there is no water. So that way you can put the water to use. So that way when you have mastery over indriyas, you have definitely a good sadhaka. Then the second yajnam is Indriya Bhoga Vishaya Bhoga Yajnam. Indriya Vishaya Bhoga Yajnam. That means all these sense organs are the fires. Like for eyes, all these forms and colors are the oblations. So when I open my eyes, I see all colors and forms, shapes. So that is all the oblations unto my eyes. So similarly for ears, the various sounds are the oblations. For tongue, the various tastes are the oblations. For skin, various touches are the oblations. So now, when I transact in this world, a lot of forms and lot of colors are offered into my eyes. That is one yajna. Then lot of sounds go into my ears. Then that is one yajna, shabda yajna. Then lot of tastes. Then what is this yajnam called? Indriya bhoga vishaya yajnam. Indriya bhoga vishaya yajnam means this is the yajnam belonging to the sensory objects. So when I treat this as a yajnam, as a part of the ritual, then I will be alert. I don't allow everything to get into my indriyas. I will process. I don't waste my time simply watching unnecessary things. I don't waste my time listening to gossip and unwanted things. Anya vacho vimunchada. So I don't talk unnecessary things. I don't entertain listening to unnecessary things. So there is a process. There are filters now. When I call it as an yajnam, Indriya Bhoga Vishaya Yajnam, I have a process. Like Gandhiji's three monkeys. He says that see no evil, talk no evil, hear no evil. Like that he has got three monkeys. That is nothing but Indriya Bhoga Vishaya Yajnam. So you have, fitted filters for these indriyas, and then you can get only the right things. We have that Shanti Mantram, Badram Karnebhi Sruniyama Devaha, Badram Pasyema Akshabiriya Jatraha. So in that, let my ears listen to the auspicious things. What is the most auspicious thing? The Atma Vidya. Let my eyes see only the Mangalakaram, the auspicious things. So like that, you have to have the filters for all these indriyas. So we have completed 4 types of yajnas. What are the 4 types of yajnas? One is called Brahma Yajna. The second one is called Daiva Yajna. The third one is called Indriya Samyama Yajna. The fourth one is called Indriya Vishaya Bhoga Samyama Yajna. The fifth one we are going to learn in the sloka number 27. Sarvendriyani karmani prana karmani chapare Atma Sanyama Yoga Agnau Juhvati Jnana Deepite. Apare Jnana Deepite Atma Samyama Yoga Agnau Sarvani Indriyani Karmani Prana Karmani Juhvati. So, in this, the control of the mind, Atma Samyama Yoga Agnau. So, the particular sloka, others offer all the functions of sense organs and all functions of prana into the fire of sense control. So both prana as well as the mind. Prana means kriyatmakam, and mind is the one which directs indriyas unto the Vishaya Vastus. So sense control kindled by discrimination. Others offer all functions of sense organs and all functions of prana into the fire of sense control, kindled by discrimination, by jnanadipite. Jnanadipite means kindled by discrimination. So this mind is a very, very important thing. Behind the sense organs, the mind functions. If mind approves, then only the sense organs function. Mind plays a lot of tantrums. So mind, if not regulated properly, it will make the person a slave. So you should have Atma Samyama Yogagnau in the fire of sense control. How this is fire of sense control? Kindled by discrimination, by buddhi. You should have a buddhi and have nirnayatmaka buddhi. You should know this is to be taken like this. This is good, this is bad. Like that you should discriminate. So such a buddhi if you have, then the mind can have the regulation. So mind and pranam both are regulated. Mind and pranam both are, they are connected. Just like cattle bar, when you hold one branch of the cattle bar, the other branch is also under control. In the same way, when mind is under check, the prana is also under check. When you check the prana, the mind is also under check. When you observe your breath, the mind quietens. So both are interconnected. So pranam and mind, both you have to offer unto the Atma Samyama Agni in the fire of sense control, kindled by discrimination, kindled by the jnana. For the mind control, there are various meditations are there. We have in the camp that relaxation meditation, concentration meditation, then expansion meditation, Vedantic meditation. Like that, there are 5 meditations which we have discussed in camp. Our Ram Mohan Rao Garu is an expert in this particular stream of Atma Vidya. So you can consult him if you need any help. So here by meditation you can have the regulation of the mind. This is one yajnam called Atma Samyama Yajna. So we have completed 5 kinds of yajnas. One is called Brahma Yajnam, Daiva Yajnam, then Indriya Samyama Yajnam, Indriya Vishaya Bhoga Yajnam, Atma Samyama Yajnam. So this way 5 yajnas are there. So all 5 yajnas are very important for the sadhaka. So we have further more yajnas which will be proposed by Paramatma. In the next class we will come to know all this. With this we will stop today. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. ఓం పూర్ణమదః పూర్ణమిదం పూర్ణాత్ పూర్ణముదచ్యతే పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం.